together we are climaxing the Exile to GEULA, to redemption. We are excited to be in our Jerusalem studio. Thank God. We hope we are able to be heard. We're giving out a lot of love over there on Instagram Live. Give me a heads up, a thumbs up if you guys are hearing me. We have a lot to go through. Thank God. Not only do we have our wonderful A New Light book from Rav Shalom Arush. Thank you very much. A beautiful, beautiful sefer. We thank Hashem for all the opportunities because you guys are giving great feedback, a lot of questions. And tonight we have the wonderful opportunity to join Rav Shlomo Katz's beautiful community in the Shirat David Efrat neighborhood. Yes, the beautiful shul of Shirat David, a community growing in Zayat, in Efrat, the Zayat part of Efrat. Beautiful place, beautiful people, and a beautiful Rabbi. Shlomo Katz will be translating Rav Shalom Arush into English tonight, and hopefully we'll have a live stream on the Shirat David Rav Shlomo Katz platforms, as well as our own Breslev English platforms, putting up the links everywhere. You guys can check it out. But even better, for those who are able, come in person. You'll be able to get a blessing in person from the Rav Shalom Arush, as well as all the books and booklets. People have reached out. Mina Shamayim today, this morning, Bashkacha Prasa, Divine Providence. Someone reached out for the latest booklet of True Simcha, True Happiness. Simcha Zachaim. In English, it's True Happiness. It's a wonderful booklet. They want to order a whole load. I said to them, where are you? They said, they're in a frat. I said, send them the flyer, which I just shared now. And they were very, very excited that the Hashkacha Pratas, they'll hopefully come by tonight to pick up all the booklets, as well as even better to actually hear from the Rav himself. So yes, get these booklets. We already mentioned it last week. The Amma Safe, we are the people of the books. So we need these books to get out there. And we have the source of our salvation with Shabbos, and also loving. Everyone giving that love. We've got a lot of love today. People in the world are celebrating Valentine's Day. We're celebrating loving people every day. And that's our dedication for you guys. A lot of love will help bring good times. So I'm just sharing over here on Instagram. Love, you guys can share also. Yes, I feel the love. Someone just shared some love. Amazing. That's how we like to flow. So join us tonight live with Rav Shalom Arush and Rav Shlomo Katz. Exciting, beautiful opportunity to hear from the Rav in a community that's growing with song and soul, and a lot of love, energy over there. That's for sure. A lot of hugs. And we hope to give some love to the Rav Arush crew who will be joining us as well tonight. They should feel welcomed, and as I do and my family do. Okay, so let's go into our 97th Emuna class. I just had a call with a up and coming marketer who wants to help Rav Arush. She loves Rav Arush. She's already helping Dr. Lieb and other amazing influencers, and we would love to collaborate with people like this, because remember, Emuna Global, that's what it's about. We have our platform, Breslev.com. Thank God last week the wonderful staff downstairs edited and put up let us give, rather. Yeah, instead of the let us go, let us give. It's not about Hashem taking us out of Mitzrayim anymore. It's about what can we give to Hashem, how can we contribute to help bring the Geula Shlema sooner, Baruch Hashem. And we want to thank you all again for sending in the feedback. Let's go into it now. Before we go into the New Light book in this wonderful studio in Yerushalayim, we're dedicating this to Refuah Shlema to Avra, Bas Chana, and all the good people. Unfortunately, this week we have to do an Ilya Nishmas, Baruch Daina Emes, to Rebbetzin Hena Bas Baruch Devor. I don't have the last name. Devor I don't have the last name, so we have to have our soul in mind. United Souls. We wish it could be a Refuah Shlema, but unfortunately we have to dedicate to our soul, as there's been many tragedies the last few weeks, and we really need to step up our prayers and pray for all the Shmira protection that was needed, and we need to put in an end to this exile. That's what this class is hopefully going to contribute towards, so that we have no more of these tragedies that we have to mourn over, including this wonderful Rebson who is now in the Olam Emes, and we send comfort to her family and to her children, and much strength to the husband and everyone involved. Baruch Hashem, to the success of all our special guests and family in Holy Land, everyone who joins us. This is Real Emuna Tuesday. We're able to go live one time today, somewhat, and it's a big, wonderful Wednesday from last week to Real Emuna Tuesday today, and hopefully we'll keep it that way as much as we can. Unity Focus, Rav, that's right. We welcome all our guests of the Holy Land who are joining us online, and to rid of all these forms of corona and confusion that's going on in the world. There's still the overflow of inflation and other things that and tests that people are going through, the challenges of our time, as we had a wonderful class this Sunday with Rav Shalom Arush, translated by Rav Dain Elgod into English. Check it out on our platforms, and they discuss all the current challenges that people are going through, as well as your Q&A, which you can send to eli.goldsmith@breslev.co.il. All the links in description, how to get hold of me, how to watch live, always available, thank God. And everyone should have a full show, specifically Rav Shalom Arush, Ben Yemna, and also Tila Rivka Bas Masha, and all the other wonderful people. Everyone should be blessed. Keep dedicating these classes to Gedalia's son, Yerachmadona Gedalia. And we appreciate everyone who dedicates to our classes. You should partner right now. Munalive.com, an opportunity tonight, not just to help the Shirat David. There's a beautiful link here how you can help Shirat David for the Shir tonight. You can also partner with Munalive.com, and we're always putting that link up on all our platforms. I think Facebook is even flying along. Yes, everyone will make tshuva. That's right. Someone said on Instagram Live, Amen, Baruch Hashem, Bum Dia. I'm not sure what that means. Yes, and we'll say Todah to them in Hebrew, for those who understand. And Amen. Yes, everyone's saying nice things out there on Instagram Live. You guys contribute on Facebook, YouTube. Let's hear some vibes. We had the good doctor the other day, Dr. Gooderman. Let's say over our feedback. Yes. Respectfully, you can have both Emuna and pain at the same time. Someone wrote, Rav Arush owe me a thing. It was a special class that Rav Arush put up one of the clips. May Hashem bless the Rabbi Shalom Arush. That was a marital harmony vid. And I love you, Rav. Thank you so much. That was on the Instagram fruits pick from Tu B'Shvat in the previous weeks. Thank you, Hashem. Bless you, Hashem. Thank you. Eli Goldsmith weekly class is on fire. Someone wrote, Amen. Oh my God. Ahove Geula. People want the Geula, which is in reference to this class being promoted. People want the redemption. Eliezer G wrote, our good friend, good morning, Oli brother. And I think he wrote a lot on the live feed as well, so you can check it out. And I think you might be on fire, he wrote on the Instagram live. Emuna class, Eli Goldsmith. Yes, pleasure. Yes, Moshe Gersh, we put up a post, an article in Breslev.com, and we shared that Feel Good Now concept. Check it out on our Breslev site and Facebook. My favorite people, someone wrote, Yosef Brown, Nissim Black, and Gedalia. That's in connection to this Shabbos. I had a beautiful Shabbaton, and it's the cover photo of the YouTube video with Yosef Brown and Nissim Black. There's a picture with him and my son, Shmuel Zalman Mordechai, his bar mitzvah. Remember, you guys can always still send a present. Shmuel Zalman Mordechai, get in touch. But the idea is that with Yosef Brown and Nissim Black together, with a new Cohen now bar mitzvah in the world, there's a Geula energy, such souls, about Tshuva, myself, and two beautiful Gerei Tzaddikim and their beautiful families. We spent a wonderful Shabbos in Beit Shemesh, in Rashis campus, and obviously I would love to share some more of that concepts that went down on that Shabbos, and hopefully during this class we'll get into some of it. We are in Parshas Mishpatim. We are Shabbos Varachim Chodesh Adar Misha Niknas Adamam B'Simcha. This is Shabbos Shkolim. There's a lot of energy, a lot of light in this time now that we're going to hopefully condense into this small time that we get weekly together. And so I ask of you, with simcha and joy, how can we end the exile? How can we bring Geula? It's by sharing Emuna Global. That's definitely the tagline. And all of you guys out there, appreciate it. A bit more feedback. Shalom to above sharing this video. Ana Hernandez wrote a beautiful thing, yes, in Spanish. How amazing these class, excellent class, an excellent book, The Garden of Wisdom. Avram Gilson. And remember, we are posting on our platforms, specifically not the Emuna one, but all the other platforms, Breslev Israel, Breslev English, all the different Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or the community on YouTube, LinkedIn. Over there we have Breslev Israel. All these Breslev Israel platforms, our WhatsApp Emuna group, Baruch Hashem. We're sharing constantly beautiful posts that are made by our team, with quotes from the Rav and links how you can get hold of those books that now expand obviously on the quotes. And it's something for you guys to share, get those messages out there, get those book links out there, get people getting the Garden of Emuna series, and so we could get this exile over with. Okay, great. So we have a lot of questions. One of the questions people want to know about Purim during such difficult days. How can we be happy during such challenging times? Hopefully we'll get that. But let's now start our weekly A New Light focus, and then we'll get during this class into the special Shabbos and the special energy that's available for all of us to bring about the Geula, Mashiach Day. Good morning from Mishkan Shiloh. Wow, amazing. By Emuna you bring Geula, that's correct. Baruch Hashem, people are writing on the Instagram live. I want to hear more from you, Facebook guys. Yeah, someone wrote here, guarding life. Okay, Rav Shalom Arush wrote. That's who we're quoting today. We are in a studio in Yerushalayim. Don't take it for granted. A lot of good energy here. Consider the following. A person wants to acquire the perception that every time he opens his eyes and sees it in modest sight, that is literally his death. To acquire that perception, he must remind. Remember, this is the climax to Shovavim. We started off Shmos. We went through Vayera, the Makkahs began, and Bo, and then we went out Mitzrayim with Bashalach, with the Chris Yamsuf, and last week's parsha of Yisro. We were with Nissim Black, Yosef Brown, the examples of the Gerim Tzadikim, the Yishma Yisrael, hearing the call of Hashem. That's the Dibris. That was a big theme in this Shabbos, that we have to learn to listen to what the message that Hashem, God, creator of the world, is communicating to us right now in 2022, 2023, 2024, all these years that we're together, and even 2021 when I first started doing these classes. Really tune into the message that Hashem is bringing out. Shalom from Sydney. Lovely. Amazing. Wow. You guys making me happy, all the good energy and the good messages on the communal live feed. Very important that what happens if someone sees something they shouldn't. He says it literally causes death. Yosef Brown spoke about it, Shalasudas. And one of the reasons I put Yosef Brown and Nissim Black and Gedalia together is if you go down to the links in the description, we have Unity bookings. How can you host these people in your community? Contact me. I'm happy to set it up. It's something I do. Moshe Reuven as well, putting out a strong push to get his message, his story out there. These are all inspirational Unity people. I was discussing it with this guy today, how we can get that message out there in a larger way. We're making the effort. We need you guys on a communal level, come Unity, to help us get the Unity bookings and to the communities in the world so that we can get the flow of all these inspirational people in person and online and all the different ways that we reach you. Thank God. So now what happens if someone's looking at the wrong thing? Yeah, it says the modest sight is literally, that is his death or her death, God forbid. Yeah, very hard to hear that, especially after Lex Friedman's podcast. Yeah, whoever knows, knows. Yeah, to acquire that perception, he must remind himself really that as soon as he opens his eyes, the eye sees and his heart desires. And in such a circumstance, he has no free choice, because the person, the desire of his heart is immediate and instantaneous. That means he has given his entire heart to the other side of evil, and he's destroyed the goodness in his life. The goodness in a person's life is his love and his will. When he sees and desires in a modest sight, he gives all his love, all of his desire, all of his will, all of his yearnings, and all of his pining for Hashem to the other side. Basically, he gives his entire life to the other side. As a result, he loses his Emuna, his Yiras Shamayim, his awareness, his work of prayer and Espodos, or her work of prayer and Espodos, all of his or her Torah learning, all the sweetness of prayer and Torah, all of the sweetness of life, his or her spouse, his peace or her peace at home, his children, God forbid, all these things, God forbid, her peace, her children, her income, his income. Basically, Haval Azman. It's like a tragedy beyond tragedy when a person gives his energy over to the wrong side. And that comes a lot to do with the eyes. The eyes are the windows to the soul. You see? These are the windows to the soul. When I met my soulmate, I discussed some Relationship Flow podcast. Check it out. We'll hopefully get a new episode up soon. And also the Talking Out podcast, a special guest there, myself and someone else who will remain anonymous. But we discussed the importance of the window to the soul. That's how I found my soulmate. That's how I built my family, through the soul level, through the soul connection. When you look at someone else, you see their essence, and then you're able to connect to them with true love. Right now, today, people are looking for soulmates. Yeah, it's a big energy in the world. So we have to learn to look for the soul level, the soul connection. That's through the eyes. As the big rabbi told me. Yeah, that's the windows is the ways you're going to see the soul. The windows are the opening for the soul. So a person using that wrong loses all these good things. Yeah, even his income. Basically, he loses all his goodness, all his life. More of his heart's filled with evil intent, with base yearnings, with a fire of lust, with destructive spirit of foolishness and madness, with deceitful images. He forgets everything. He forgets Hashem, he forgets the Torah, he forgets his family, or she does. He forgets it all, and he only wants to silence the fire of lust burning within him. That is literally a kind of death. He loses his entire life, or she does. He is filled, or she is filled, yes, with death. This is the problem when a person's spilling seed or not using their energy in the right way, getting angry, they're channeling all their income and things into the wrong, throwing it away, wasting that power within to the wrong side. You know, it's something we have to constantly mechazik in our generation. The focus of Tikkun Abris, the Shmiras Abris, Tikkun Klali, what Rabbi Nachman revealed, Rabbi Nachman ben Feiger, Rabbi Nachman ben Simcha, And we're going to hear from Arush now some answers how to deal with this challenge of our generation when so much distraction. It's not just distraction, it's destructive energy, pulling us away from our purpose, pulling us away from our soul connection, pulling us away from being focused on using these eyes for the right person, my soulmate, and that's it. And using that energy towards that one human being, that one soul that becomes one with you. That's the big challenge with the sexual energy that exists, to channel it only in the right time, in the right place, in the right way, and not to, God forbid, let it disperse. And I can testify that people who are Shomer Bris, people that I know, Sadiqim, the energy level that they have is awesome. It's like nuclear energy. It's more powerful than anything in the world if it's contained. Now, you meet a lot of people walking around energyless. It's because they're not containing that energy and channeling it in the right way in the right time. Man or woman, anyone who's working on any issue, says Rav Arush, must engage in visualization. For instance, if a person's working on eradicating his trait of anger, he must visualize his anger or her anger as literally being a kind of death. This is because the Zohar states that when a person grows angry, he rips apart his soul. He destroys his holy body, receives an evil soul and place from the other side, a soul that is considered like a Avodah Zorah, an idol. So if you really get this concept strong, this is Rav Arush, his speciality, make it strong, clear will of what you're doing when you're doing the wrong thing. Yeah, not because we want to get down. Remember, we want to have joy. We want to go out this godless exile with simcha. But we have to get clear what's going to bring GEULA and what's not. What's going to bring life? What's going to bring energy? What's going to bring destruction, God forbid? What's going to bring building? What's going to bring happiness? We have to get clear. Remember, we have all these booklets. Very simply clarify in a very small form how we can get to true happiness. Yeah, that's a very important concept. We all need to work on it. So we have to get these concepts, and they're very clear to us. Yeah, so let's go. Yeah, therefore we should visualize he's destroying all these things, and all the demons and spirits are entering into him or her by doing the negative thing. He should continue visualizing until he feels even getting angry like at this reality. So too in regard to evil speech, a person should remind himself that the Gemara states evil speech kills three people: the speaker, the listener, and the subject of the speech. They visualize it in every word of evil speech literally causing death. In a way, he can cry out properly. So that's the idea. By visualizing the damage, the effect, the mischanneling your energy causes, then you can transform yourself into someone who does the opposite, which is all these positive things, brings down shefa, abundance, and goodness, and love, and connection. This is how a person approach all of his imperfections and cravings. All of these enhance the power of imagination and visualization. When the power of imagination rules over a person, he is an animal on two legs, a ravening wild beast. Because the power of imagination is that animalistic power, as the Hasidic teaching explained. A person is called a human being only when his power of imagination is purified. Yeah, that's one of the concepts of the Eitz Hadas Tov Ra, the first sin of humankind, and we're fixing right now, Tikkun Olam, with Adam and Rishon. We are the last generation to fix that sin, the original sin of humankind. We fix it is a lot to do with imagination. That's why, if you go online, that's where all the power of the advertising world and the internet world, with terms of streaming and everything going on, you know, the halftime over there, whatever you're watching and getting involved with, it's all about channeling your imagination towards needing something or wanting something. And obviously if it's something low and base and negative, then all that energy and that money and that drive goes towards the wrong side instead of going towards bringing in Hashem. Obviously Hashem is one, so we have to tune into that truth, the oneness of Hashem, and therefore we can elevate everything. But the concept is, Rav Arush is bringing down here, by visualizing the negativity that it creates, we can fight it off and hopefully transform ourselves to being, instead of being some beast kind of person, like animalistic person, and experiencing, God forbid, like all these things like the soul connection, the sexual connection in an animalistic way, we can experience it in an uplifting spiritual way, in a soul connecting way, in a way that brings eternal love, it brings eternity into our life, in eternal values of truth. Person is called a human being when his power of imagination is purified. Therefore, the Hebrew word for man, Adam, comes from the same words as Adamah, as in the phrase "I'll visualize." It says in Yeshaya in the Novi 14:14, every person who is controlled by evil traits must feel that overall is not human being. He is only an animal and beast. What terrible punishment this is, to be an animal beast on two legs. As a result, contemplating and visualizing this, he can have compassion on himself and feel that every flaw and craving are worse than death. So that's the idea. We're trying to live towards truth, as we're saying, true happiness, a new light. This is what we're trying to bring into the world, to live the truth. Let's read a little bit more. Sadiqim knew that every sin is death, in the simplest sense. Therefore, the Gemara tells about Sadiqim are ready to die rather than commit a sin. Yeah, living with Mesiras Nefesh. Yeah, as Rav Arush has been teaching us again and again. Giving up our soul, giving up our tivers, our desires, giving up our time, sharing Emuna global. Yeah, because they drew no distinction between committing sin and experiencing death. Therefore, they choose to die rather than transgress Hashem's will. That was the idea of the tzaddik. A gentle nobleman urged Rav Tzaddik to sin. He told her he was famished, he must first eat. She went and let her find an oven in order to cook him some food. He entered the burning oven, sat down. Shem protected and fire did not harm him. The woman asked him, why did you do something so dangerous? He told her, a person who commits this sin falls into the fire of Gehenna. Therefore, I decided to go straight into the fire. She said, if I knew that this sin is so grievous in your eyes, I would not have caused you so much pain. Rav Kahana, another story, was a peddler selling his wares. These are all tzaddikim from the Gemara, from the Talmud. Tanaim and Amoraim. When I was peddling his wares, in one of the house he went to, a gentle noblewoman, a woman who could threaten him with death if he would not obey her, saw him and urged him to sin. Rav Kana told her that he must first prepare. He took the option to go onto the roof of the building and leap. Immediately, Eliyahu the Novi flew, caught him, and told him, and troubled Eliyahu to save him from a distance of 400 parsa. So Gemara and Kedushin, both these stories. Gemara, Daf, I'll buy him. We'll get there eventually, please God, with the Daf Yomi. We're learning Daf Yomi. Just right now in Nazir. Eventually, at the end of the Seder's Noshim will be by Kedushin, I believe. And I'm excited to get to that. Daf Mem, Amud Aleph. Yeah, the 40th page of the Talmud in Kedushin. So these beautiful stories are written down in our... So we see from these stories, says Rav Arush, that Tzaddikim literally felt that dying was preferable to committing a sin. And we see a similar idea as well in the famous story of Rabbi Mataba and Arush, who when he saw he could not otherwise withstand the death, stabbed white hot nails into his eyes to blind himself. Yeah, obviously we're not recommending any of these extreme actions, but the concept of giving up something that we want for a higher cause, that's the idea. Like people have addictions nowadays to phones, all kinds of things. Take that fire for the object and give that fire up for passionate prayers like a Shirat David or a Chutz Chesed. Put it into a voda, put it into a spodidus, put it into a Emuna. Channel that fire towards good. Being about Tshuva, seeing Nissim Black's fire from the hood, being now channeled into hip-hop, into sharing Emuna, sharing Torah, the fire for tefillahs on Shabbos. We had the whole olam of all the Bochrim, all the yeshiva jumping up and down. For Hashem, that's the idea, that fire. Yeah, Yosef Brown's fire with the beats, putting that beats into understanding deeper and deeper Torah and sharing it so clearly. This is the concept. So we're channeling that fire, the fire for business like Gedalia, channeling it towards helping people and creating rehabs and detox centers that have true values. Awesome people sharing and transforming the darkness into light. That's the idea. That's what we're trying to do over here. That's the mysterious nefesh we need to have nowadays. And we don't have to go knock out our eyes, but we do need to channel ourselves, our fires and our desires towards holy things. This sense, I remember Gedalia once said that all those parties he put on, and I'd include myself in that when I put parties on in London, we now have to make parties for Hashem. To make an event tonight, it means instead of me having a nice normal night, going home, having dinner, learning Daf Yomi, and getting ready for bed, doing Krish Malamita, talking to my wife, I'm going to go out in the cold and be part of it instead of going to a nightclub like back in the day before I was from. Or involved with Yiddishkeit, yeah, from's not such a fun word. Getting involved with spirituality and truth, I now have the opportunity tonight to push off that need for sleep and go out into the cold and make an event with Rav Shalom Arush, make sure there's a book set up, that everyone's getting their Garden of Emuna books, their booklets, everyone's getting to hear from Rav Arush and hearing Rav Shlomo Katz, the first time they're translating together. It's going to be awesome. I want to thank the Aaron family for helping that, the Chazan who came here all those years back, and this wonderful family as well. Bless them and bless everyone involved. The sense that transgressing Hashem's will is simply inconceivable. It's not something straightforward and natural, says Rav Arush. But these men truly felt this. As a result, their prayer was so strong and powerful, they're entirely cleansed of lust, and they attained tremendous levels. The Hamitic sages were able to revive the dead, were privileged to receive the revelation of Eliyahu the prophet. But we must know that they were not born clean, holy, and pure. There's no such thing. Every person, even the greatest tzaddik, is a human being who comes as well with cravings and evil traits. King David himself, Mashiach's going to come out from David HaMelech. The GEULA, redemption, will come through Malchus-based David. With iniquity was I formed, and with sin my mother conceived me. It says in Psalms. All of the tzaddikim were human beings. The only way for human being change is by engaging in great deal of prayer. And we know David HaMelech, who wrote Psalms, transformed himself through Psalms, transformed the darkness into light, transformed all those desires into coming closer to Hashem. And that's something all of us can do and should do through prayer. That's how we transform ourselves. That's the power. Hashem gave us this gift of prayer, of connecting to Him, so that we can have a real relationship and transform ourselves, elevate ourselves through becoming one with our source, our soul, our creator. This is prayer, Emuna prayer. This is really what Emuna is, intrinsic Emuna, intrinsic connection to Hashem Yisbarach. Therefore, when they called out to Shem to nullify a craving, they cried out as though they were crying out for life. And the story is told about Rav Tzaddik and Rav Kahana secured their attainments because they engaged a great deal of prayer. As Rabbi Nachman says, this is all going from page 253, so I just jumped into it, 252 to page 255 in the New Light, chapter 6. Sorry, I just was so excited to learn. I forgot to say the page number. So anyone who's still listening can go back now and find it in the book. 252, 255. We're ending off 255 now. As Rabbi Nachman says, Rabbi Nachman, all the Siddiqim reached their levels only as they were engaging in prayer and Esbododus, and certainly they prayed as though they were praying for their lives, because they viewed every transgression or any way of disconnecting Hashem as a form of death. Therefore, they were prepared to die in the most literal sense. So that's a very profound concept. So how are we going to bring Mashiach? Through prayer. How are we going to bring Mashiach? Sharing Emuna global. That means real kindness to the world is for us to make sure that these concepts get out there, that we have an intense relationship with God, that we understand how it's so important and so profound and so intrinsic to our life on this planet. And we have to, our essence as Odom is, the Pneumius of Odom is Mispalel, the essence of Odom, Aleph, Daled, Mem. Yeah, Aleph is Lamed, Pei, and Daled is Lamed Taf, and Mem, when you spell out the word, the letter of Mem is Mem. Mispalel is the inner essence of Odom. Odom is a human being is there to pray. That's our essence. That's what we did when we first came into Bereshis. So the concept is of Shovavim. This is 6 weeks that we're climaxing now with prayer, with all the different parshias of Geula, of redemption, going out of Mitzrayim, going out of our limitations, each Shabbos, going on another higher level of experience of Hashem's love, Hashem's connection to us, so we can connect deeper in our service of Hashem. And that gives us the opportunity during Shovavim to purify ourselves, to come to the level of Tikkun Abris, Tikkun Klali, to purify our eyes, purify our mouth, purify our heart, purify how we connect, how we channel our energy, the sexual energy, to use it in the right way, for only to bring down beautiful souls, to bring down connection and love and truth in the right time, in the right way, with the right person, please God. Everyone should be blessed with that opportunity. And if you don't have the opportunity to manifest it in a physical sense, you can manifest it through building paths of Emuna for all the world, to build up opportunities for people to make shidduchim, to build up opportunities to children to keep learning about these true values. By sharing the truth, you're incorporated in that ultimate zivug with you and Hashem, with you and God, with you and the Creator. And every Shabbos that Eishes Chal comes, our wonderful Shabbos bride, and it's a ma'ain of what GEULA is going to be, the redemption. It's a little taste as we bring in L'Chadodi. We're going to have this Shir David. We sing together in a way that brings in the energy of Mashiach, the love. We're dancing, we're Avos Yisrael, we're Avos HaTorah, Avos Hashem, and we're dancing together, joining the souls of all the people around us in a unified experience. And that is the truth of who we are as a people and our light that we can share to the world. That every week is a little testing ground, a little practice for what's going to come when Mashiach himself comes, and Mashiach brings the light of GEULA, redemption, and we end this exile, we end all these tragedies, end all this pain, we end all these distractions that cause us to go after all these other strange things. And we have to realize that there's so much need for it. People don't know about it. You know, the awareness is still limited, and it has to come from us who do know, sharing that, having the knowledge, having the das to know Hashem, to give that knowledge a global experience, so that everyone in the world should be able to tap into that light and that wisdom of prayer, the wisdom of connecting into the soul of United Souls. Please God, this week I'm going to put out a new extract of United Souls, extract 27, I believe. It's amazing for my United Souls book. I'm going to try to get it out even possibly today. I ask of all of you to share this class, make sure people know about how that they can accomplish with prayer, and they don't have to die for it, but there has to be this visualization that it's a real thing, that it's worth giving up your life for, your time for, your energy for. That, as we said, I said to someone today, what makes Arush so awesome and Gedalia Fence or anyone who follows his teachings is they've done the hours. Nissim Black, they've done the hours. Yosef Brown, they've done the hours. They've put in the hours of prayer. Day after day, I saw I had the merit to give a shir. So while I was giving the shir, that was Nissim Black's Hispoda this time. So it was cool. He couldn't come to my shir, but I said on the soul level he was there because he was doing his avoda, talking to God. I was giving over a class in Reship to about 20 boys and Yosef Brown as well. And the opportunity to share Emuna was something which is going to come in all different ways, through prayer, through learning together, through kindness, acts of kindness. This is the key. It should impact our life in a real way. That we are so close now to the Geula Shlema. We're so close to the end of exile. It's just a matter of us, a little bit more love, a little bit more of a smile. You have to work on it, me personally also. A little bit more of a thank you, Hashem. Let's not forget, we have to thank Hashem for all these beautiful opportunities to join together. We need to have more charity, more kindness, partner with emunalive.com. Not enough people partnering there, honestly. We had a little bit last month and it's not enough. We need more partnership to keep these classes growing, to keep the Emuna platforms growing, all the opportunities we're going to try to bring to here. I don't want to just get another day job, not because I don't want to work. I work hard for this also, but I want the opportunity to keep sharing Emuna Global, and I need you guys to partner. You can join us at Breslev.com and get all the books, so that the books are going global. Share them with people that you love, and most importantly, remember, you are a beautiful soul, every single person, and Hashem is showing his love towards us in these Parsha Shovavim. Right now it's Mishpatim, he's giving us a tremendous, we'll just go into the Parsha and we'll end off the class with this. The idea that Mishpatim comes, Hashem gives us guidance how to live in daily life in every single aspect, all the different Mishpatim, all the different judgments that apply, how to do this, how to do that, how to get married, how to get divorced, God forbid, how to employ someone, how to unemploy someone, God forbid, all the different scenarios that go on a daily level. If, God forbid, there's damage, how to repay the damage, what to do if there's thievery, what to do with a thief. All the different dinim and judgments are all there in this Parsha's Mishpatim is an example of how much love Hashem's that he's so involved in our daily life. Not because, God forbid, he wants to control us, because he gives us bechira and gives us guidance how to choose the right way of life, so that we can choose it for ourselves, so we can have the opportunity as Hashem, he chose us, and we say, Hashem chose us, we choose Hashem. We choose Hashem every day with the Shema Yisrael. And we started off Shovavim saying that these 6 weeks are Keneged Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, because there's 6 words in the pasuk of Shema Yisrael. The big Echad, the big Daled, is this week's Parsha Mishpatim. We're climaxing and bringing the Echad of Hashem, the oneness of Hashem, into every aspect of life, to elevate everything, even all our desires that we spoke about from Arush, to elevate it all to Hashem through prayers. Yes, it is a Avodah Zarah today, the Valentine's thing, but once again, probably not, because once it's got commercialized, it loses that flow. So our flow is to focus on the love that Hashem has for us, the oneness. Hashem gives a tremendous achad, is gemat shahava, the love that Hashem's pouring into us. Yes, thanks. Someone wrote, thank you. We thank you also. And the idea that when you're tuning into the oneness of Hashem, you're understanding that goes into every aspect of the shkolim. This is the beginning of the Dalet Parshas, that little concept, we give that little coin, that little coat shel yud, that panemius, that shows the oneness. That little coat is what makes a Shem Acher, Shem is other, the Avodah Zarah, into a Shem Echad, so the oneness that brings the Dalet is the Nekudas Tovas, focusing on what we can get good from this reality. Draw out the good from our challenges, go out the good from the difficulties that we're going through. I was just saying to Dag over here, the video dude, before we started videoing the class, I said to him, Baruch Hashem, the weather was amazing when my family were here. My brother hadn't been here for over 21 years, and he got to be here when the weather was gewaldic. So we have to thank Hashem for those moments. And now we've got rain. Thank Hashem for the rain. And right now it's like in between. Thank Hashem for the in-between time. It's cold. It's not yet raining, but it will. And we needed the rain, and it came. The chef is here. We have to tune in to the Nekudas Tova, the good, and it brings the oneness of Hashem. Saying Baruch Hashem, saying thank you Hashem, tuning into the praise of Hashem. And this is the Hashem Echad that we're trying to bring in. We got the Kabbalah Torah, that's Hashem revealing himself, Yisro, and the Panemius of Yisro is nice of a Nishma that only comes out in Parshas Mishpatim. We really start to understand what does Hashem want from us. We tune in by doing what Hashem wants, and then we understand the panemius of why we're listening, why we're doing what Hashem wants, and we start to have a gavaldik tanug, amazing pleasure that takes away all the pleasures of this world and tunes us into the oneness of Hashem. And then we go to the concept of shkolim, giving staka, partnering on emunalive.com. This is the time, Mechitzas Shekel, during Chodesh Adar, we do charity, and that brings simcha and joy to the world. The idea of doing charity, it brings fulfillment, channels all that energy and time you put into your making a living. Now it elevates all the panasa, all the work you do. That's really very, very important. So everyone out there, tune once again, do more tzedakah, join emunalive.com and all the different platforms we offer Mechitzas Shekel. Tune into the power of charity, tune into the power of joining and partnering with the Mishkan, with the Mikdash, with the idea of partnering with a unifying energy of divine presence in the world. We'll talk about that a bit more next week in Parshas Truma. Please God, what the Mikdash, what it brings, the idea of joining together. And that we hope all of you, as you begin the Dalet Parshas and Chodesh Adar, Misha Niknas Adam Marbin, we increase our joy. We're starting off a little bit, confused by what's been going on the last few weeks. Hopefully from now on, we'll hear only good news and blessings for everybody. And please God, we'll have a beautiful Shabbat. So we'll go out this exile, the bitterness of this exile, the pain of not being connected to God, of having suffering around us. We should all have healthy bodies, healthy emotional worlds, mental well-being. We should be zocha to soulmates and everything we need. And we'll dance, please God, Mashiach Sekenu with the final Gula Shlema, B'mhevi Amenu. Amen. Thank you for joining us. Shalom Global. Much love. Let's go.